There was a time when I couldn't say even a full sentence in English without my heart racing. My hands would sweat, my mouth would go dry. I knew the words. I had studied the grammar. But when it came time to actually speak, especially to the native speaker, my brain would freeze. I remember one specific moment very clearly. I was at a cafe's with a group of international students in Berlin. Everyone was chatting, switching between English and their own languages. I sat there quietly, smiling, nodding, but saying almost nothing. Then one of them turned to me and asked, "So, what do you think?" I froze. I panicked. I wanted to say something, anything, but I just laughed nervously and said, "I don't know." And that was it. The moment passed and I felt small, invisible, and frustrated. That night, I went home and said to myself, "This has to change." The truth is, I wasn't afraid of English. I was afraid of making mistakes. I was afraid of sounding silly. I was afraid people would laugh, or worse, not understand me at all. I had been learning English for years, watching shows, reading books, doing exercises, but I had never trained myself to actually speak out loud, to say things before they were perfect, to just try. So I made a plan, not a big dramatic one, just small, clear steps to help me feel more confident. Step 1, speak to myself. Every morning while getting dressed or brushing my teeth, I'd talk to myself in English. I'd say what I was going to do that day. Today, I'm going to class. I need to finish my project. I feel a little tired, but I'll grab a coffee on the way. I hope it doesn't rain again. It felt strange at first, but after a week, it became natural. I was no longer translating in my head. I was thinking in English, little by little. Step 2, join an English-speaking group. This was scary. But I searched online and found a free conversation club at the local library. The first time I went, I almost turned around at the door, but I told myself, just go inside. Just sit and listen if you need to. No pressure. And that's what I did. I didn't speak much at first, but I introduced myself. "Hi, I'm Aylin. I'm from Turkey. I'm here to practice." People were kind. No one laughed at my accent. No one corrected every little mistake. After a few meetings, I started saying more. "I read a great book this week. I saw a funny video online. In my country, we usually eat dinner later than here." And something amazing happened. People listened. They smiled. They asked questions. They wanted to hear what I had to say. Step 3, let go of perfection. This was the hardest part. I had always been a perfectionist. I thought I had to speak fluent English before I could open my mouth. But I started to realize fluency isn't perfection. Fluency is flow. If I could tell a story, even with small mistakes, and someone understood me, that was communication. That was success. So I stopped apologizing for my English. I stopped saying, "Sorry, my English is not good." Instead, I said, "I'm learning, let me try." And when I forgot a word, I explained around it. It's the thing you use to open a can. What's the word? It's like a jacket, but longer. You wear it in winter. People helped. They filled in the word, and we kept talking. One day, about 3 months after I started this journey, something happened that showed me how far I'd come. I was on the bus when a tourist asked me for directions in English. A few months earlier, I would have panicked and said, "Sorry, I don't speak English." But this time, I smiled and said, "Sure. Where are you trying to go?" He showed me a map, and I explained, slowly, clearly. I even gave him a tip about a great place to eat nearby. He thanked me, and as he walked away, I sat there smiling to myself. Not because my English was perfect, but because I didn't freeze. I spoke. I helped someone. I connected. Now, speaking English doesn't scare me. I still make mistakes. Everyone does. But I've stopped letting fear control me. I see English as a tool, not a test. It's something I use to meet people, to tell stories, to share who I am. And the funny part? Once I stopped being afraid, my English improved even faster. Because now I was using it. Every day in real life. If you're afraid to speak English, you are not alone. I've been there. We all have. But fear doesn't go away by waiting. It goes away by doing. Speak to yourself. Speak to a friend. Join a group. Ask a question. Say hello. Don't wait to be perfect. Just be brave enough to try. And remember, your voice matters. Your accent is part of your story. Your English is already good enough to connect with someone. Practice out loud, try different styles, and soon it will feel completely natural. Thank you for practicing with me today. See you in the next lesson.